Hi there, this video is to help you to get the best out of your experience when you're using YouTube, especially when you're watching one of my videos. So this is the YouTube video that I recorded yesterday, all about my Robert Mandel hurdy-gurdy. And so I'm going to talk about the view first of all. The view that you get when you first boot up YouTube is what they call the default view, what you're looking at now. This is your best option because a lot of the features that you get in YouTube don't work in other views, but I will show you the other views. If you look down here at the bottom, you can see this one here that I'm hovering over is called the mini player. If I click it, you'll see that I've appeared down here on the right hand side, and of course lots of other little YouTube videos have reappeared, and there is a keyboard shortcut for that. As you hover over it, you'll see it's I. Okay, that could be useful to you if you're trying to get on with other stuff on your screen, but I don't tend to use it. Moving along, we have theatre mode, which looks like this. It's quite an attractive kind of letterboxed view. The keyboard shortcut for that is T, so I've hit the T on my computer keyboard, takes me back to default view. And then AirPlay, this is if you're trying to make your video play through another device in the house. Won't get into that now. And of course full screen will obviously do this. The whole screen is full up with me. Press F to toggle that. Take us back to the default view. So those are the various views, but I tend to use the one that you get when you first boot it up, which is called, like I say, the default view. Let's talk about the transport, the playing and the stopping and the rewinding and the fast forwarding, that kind of thing. Fairly obvious. You've got a play button down here, click that and it plays. Play the hurdy. And the space bar on your computer does the same thing. Getting hold of a hurdy-gurdy plays quite a difficult and stops or pauses. On your computer keyboard, the K key does the same thing, and the J and the L, which are obviously either side of the K, well, the J takes you back 10 seconds. If you look at the time down here, if I hit the J key once, it goes to 110 to 1 to 50, so going back in tens. And if I hit the L key, going forward, see, 120, 130. If you want to go backwards and forwards in shorter increments, then use the left and right arrow keys. If you keep an eye on the timer, I'm going to hit the right key and it jumps up in 5 seconds. So 36, 41, that's the right key, and of course the left key, left arrow key, goes back in 5 seconds. So 10 seconds on the J and the L, 5 seconds on the left and right arrow keys. By the way, if you've got an iPad, you can actually go backwards and forwards by double tapping either side of the screen, which is something I learned recently, and the same thing on the iPhone. I'm not sure about Android phones, but I'm guessing it's much the same. So that is the transport. Let's talk about chapters. Now, you don't always get chapters. You only get them if the person that's made the video has put them in. I put them in on this video, and you can see them down the bottom here on this thin strip. It's a long chapter here, and another one here, another one, little one here. And in my case, I've named all my chapters in my software for your convenience. So chapter 1 starts at the beginning. It's obviously called the introduction, and then we have the overview of the parts and specifications. As I scroll backwards and forwards, you can see the time. Go to the next chapter, measurements and weights, and so on and so forth. So there's various ways of using this. Okay, you can just scroll up and down till you find a chapter you want. For instance, I'm going to look for tuning. There it is, and I know it starts there because there's a little gap. So I'm here. Here it is, and I'm just going to double click that, press play. Now I've got my Boss tuner here, and that goes into my tuning section. Okay, that's a sort of a rough way of finding your chapters. If this is one continuous bar, you haven't got any chapters to use, I'm afraid. Another way of doing it is go down to the description. You might need to press show more, and you'll see all these blue timestamps. So fixing the strap, if I hit this one, 10:10. First thing I'm going to need is a guitar strap. See? And it's gone to fixing the strap. So that's another way of finding your chapters. Now, if you look along the thin strips at the bottom, if I press Option and the right or left arrow key, watch what happens. Can you see that red spot jumps from chapter to chapter, and the chapter you've got is actually on the screen. Can you see fixing the strap, playing position, tuning, holding the crank and so forth, and then you just press the press the space bar or the K key to go from there. So that's a good way of finding or going to your chapters. Now if you look at the bottom here, And you can see 12:48, that's where I am in the video at the moment. 16:20 is the total length. That's the chapter I'm on, holding the crank. And look at this little right arrow. If I click on that, over here on the right hand side, you've got a whole list of the chapters with a little thumbnail. This is a great way of finding what you want. Here's the tuning chapter, and I'm holding my guitar tuner up. So if I click on that, okay, and press play. Gravity. Now I've got my boss. It goes straight to that, which is handy. If I want to share this with someone, I want to say to them, okay, this is where I explain about tuning, and I share this, email it to them, or I put it on Facebook. It will play from that point in the video. So that's pretty handy, isn't it? So you can go straight to the chapter over here in these little thumbnails. You can do it underneath with the blue timestamps, or you can do it in the little strips along the bottom. And don't forget, you can use Alt plus right and left arrow keys to go straight to them. So chapters are really good. If you are a person that creates YouTube videos, I strongly recommend putting them in. I regret not having done it in the past, but I will be remedying that from now on. Let's talk about video speed. Obviously, when you press play, so a few months ago I decided the video just goes at the normal speed. Let's go to the bit where I actually play a little bit of a tune. So here. And so I'm just playing the tune at a normal speed. Forgive me if you are not a fan of the hurdy-gurdy. Now if I click on the cogwheel down here where it says HD, that tells me I'm in high definition, by the way, and go to playback speed, it says normal. If I click on this, if I go to 0.5, the video will play at half speed. Now the good thing about this, if you're a musician, is that the pitch doesn't change, just the speed. Obviously it gets a bit gurgly when you slow down. Let's go back and go the other way. Let's go to 1.5, so this will be 1.5 times the speed. So that's a good little trick. So if you want to slow something down to learn it, this is a really good way of doing it, isn't it? So playback speed. And you can do a custom one, so you get a custom up here and you just drag the slider up and down and get more or less anything you want from well, down to a quarter speed all the way up to 2 times. Let's just take it back to 1, which is obviously the normal speed. Okay, so that's a good way of altering the speed without altering the pitch. Like I say, brilliant for musicians. Subtitles can be useful if English isn't your first language and you're trying to follow one of my videos. If you struggle to understand me, and I do try and speak slowly and carefully, but sometimes I do gabble a bit, I'm sure. This button down here is for you, where it says CC, closed captions. If you click on it, and you can see straight away we've got some subtitles coming up. And if I play the video now, just saying music because I'm not actually talking. Let's go to somewhere where I'm talking. Now I've made this very big. Let's see if I can change that. If I want to change the font here, if I go to the cogwheel, go to subtitles, go to options, and the font size, I've set that to 200%. Let's go to 100%, that's better. And I've set the colour, let's go back. I've set the colour to green, which I think shows up better than white. And you can change all kinds of things here, the window colour, the opacity, the font, all kinds of stuff. We'll leave it at that for the moment. Basically, it's quite handy, just like when you're watching a television programme. I often get this these days when I can't understand a thing they're saying. Sometimes the subtitles are useful. Obviously, they're on the screen, so they get in the way a bit, so you can change the font size, bring it down. But that's a very handy option. Let's just run a bit of this and see what I'm saying. There's a grand bourdon, which is a lower pitch one you get on some other instruments. I'm going to tune that string to C3. Put my tuner on. Let's go detach the other strings for a moment. So it's pretty good. Sometimes YouTube gets it wrong and it doesn't get the right word that you've said, but mostly it's pretty good. On my videos, the subtitles will be English by default. But obviously if someone from another country, someone from Sweden, let's say, makes a video, their subtitles will be by default in Swedish. So in other words, the subtitles are always in the language of the creator of the YouTube video. Going on from subtitles, let's talk about the transcript. If I go to the ellipsis menu down here, now on the Mac, I think it might be in a different place to where it is on the PC. Look at these words down here, dislike, share, save. There's 3 little dots, and ellipsis this is called, of course. Click on that and it says open transcript. And if you look over on the right hand side, my chapters has dropped down, and up here you can see a complete transcript of what I'm saying, or what YouTube thinks I'm saying, and the bit that I'm saying at that point in the video is in bold. Let's just run this and look over on the right hand side. So I'm just disengaging the melody string and the trumpet strings. It's really handy. Now, I said trompet, the word is T-R-O-M-P-E-T-T-E, and YouTube thought I said trompet, but never mind. You know, it's not a bad stab at it, and it's quite a weird word, but this is really handy. Let's just run a bit more of it and keep an eye on that. That's showing a little bit flat at the moment. There's music there, so I'm not saying sharp, as you can hear, so so on. So obviously if I'm not saying something and I'm just playing, it just says music. It's pretty useful though, isn't it? And you can close that down with this X here. There's a little ellipsis here. Toggle timestamps. Oh, actually you can turn the timestamps on and off. That didn't know that. And close the whole thing down there. And I can close my chapters down here, and then I'll just get my little thumbnails of other videos that I might currently be watching. Okay, let's just bring those chapter markers up again. So that's pretty handy, the transcript, the transcription of what I'm saying, and it's in this ellipsis menu down here. It's quite hard to find sometimes. As for the video quality, I've got mine set to HD, high definition. I want the quality to be as high as possible, but obviously high quality means slower download times. If you want to download the video quicker or be able to watch it quicker, then you can change the quality of the video in the cogwheel. It's the one at the bottom, quality, set at the moment to 1080p, the highest quality I can run on YouTube, all the way down to 144. So I always go for high quality, but obviously it will depend upon your internet speed and your requirements. So that's the video quality. What about the volume of the video? Right, over here there's a loudspeaker. It's the third icon in. We've got the play button, the next video button. If you click that by mistake, it takes you to the next video that YouTube is planning on playing for you. Here's the loudspeaker. If you press M, you get that slash going across that. M on your computer keyboard cuts the volume. So if I play the video, there's no sound. Could be handy if you get a phone call coming in. Press the M again, tunes, get it spot, we've got our sound back, and you've got a volume slider here, so I'll just slide this up and down. I'm using my trackpad to do that, but you can also use the up and down keys, which on my computer keyboard are near my left and right keys. Let's engage the press and hold string, up and down volumes, up and down arrow keys, which is fairly obvious I think, so that's your volume. Let's talk about sharing. Now down here you can like the video. I've got 12 likes and no dislikes, which is good news, isn't it? It would be embarrassing if I had loads of dislikes, wouldn't it? Click the share button and you can share to all the obvious platforms like email, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter. You can embed the video into something. I do this sometimes on a site called Banjo Hangout, where I want to embed the video, and then you get the entire thumbnail of the video coming up. You can copy the link, okay, if you want to send this to someone, and you can do this start at thing. Now I spoke about this earlier, where you can start the video from a certain point, and you can double click that. Suppose you wanted to start it at 10 minutes, 10 : 00. So I set that to 10 minutes. So if I were to email this link to somebody and they open the email and click the link, the video would start from the 10-minute mark. So that's sharing, and you can share of course from over here. These are little thumbnails, which I spoke about earlier I think, which is handy. This save menu here, this is for various things. If you want to watch the video later, so say you stumbled upon this and you didn't have time to look at it and you don't want to lose it, sometimes it's quite hard to find, isn't it? If you click on the watch later box, it saves the video to a little playlist and you can come back to it at any point, or you can put it in one of your playlists you've already made. I've got a few here from my channel, or you can make a new playlist down the bottom here. Final thing I want to talk about is adverts, and of course these are a real pain, aren't they, because they crop up right in the middle of my videos and you often get little pop-up things which are annoying. If you get a little pop-up still adverts. You can just click the little X and get rid of it, but you can't do anything about adverts that appear in the middle of the video, and they're just annoying. The only way around that is to subscribe to YouTube Premium. Let me just show you that. So here is YouTube Premium, and as you can see, it's $11.99 a month in the UK here. You get a month's free trial. What do you get for your money? Well, you get ad-free background play, so that's really good. You can watch all your videos without any annoying adverts appearing in the middle. You can download all videos on YouTube, which is a very handy feature. I mean, you can't download my YouTube videos, but you could if you have YouTube Premium. And you also get YouTube Music Premium, which is their kind of version of iTunes, I guess, or Spotify, and listen without interruptions. It's pretty dear, nearly £12 a month, and there's a family option which is $17.99. And I was thinking about this for my family, but we're a bit spread out across the globe, so it wouldn't work because it's only family members that live in the same house at the same address. I guess YouTube would know your IP address, so not sure about that, but I might buy a one-person subscription, $11.99 a month. It's almost worth it. The amount of times I'm watching something, and for instance, here we go, straight away.
Hi, you just
I've gone to an advert here, and I don't want to see this lovely lady, lovely as she is. I don't want to watch her or see what she's got to say. I want to go straight to my Robert Mandel Symphonia Hurdy-Gurdy review. So that's demonstrated my point brilliantly. So I hope you found that interesting. There's quite a lot to YouTube, and it's just being bothered, isn't it, to find out all about it. Well, I've done that for you, so hopefully you'll be able to use your YouTube to its full extent from now on. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. You didn't see me in it, but you'll see me in my next one. Thank you very much for watching.